I'm going to break down the three fundamental principles that I use to go from making a few $1,000s every single month in profit to having a 900x increase, making over on average $35,000 to $40,000 per month with ridiculously good profit margins. I want to say like 70 to 80%. And there's really three things that I did. I'm going to keep this really short, blunt, and to the point because your time is valuable. The first thing I did, I took lots of shots on back. Okay. So one of the things that I used to believe is that you build one offer and you bang that offer out and you spend all of your life, energy, and soul force on that offer. And then you pray and hope it works. And if you don't, you just have a shattering, crushing disappointment. And what I originally thought was that offers took a lot of time to publish. They are exhausting. And I'm talking an offer here, anything from choosing and inviting a group of people to come work with you to actually literally saying I'm going to publish, let's just say $100 live experience or a $10 micro offer, right? And any offer, doesn't matter. I used to think was an exhausting thing. It took me a long time, a lot of blood, sweat, and energy. And now what I did last year is I just went in full experimentation mode and I threw so much paint on the wall to the point where I launched about 6 workshops with paid ads, I think even more. And I want to say 6 workshops with paid ads. I launched 3 to 4 new offers under the same offer container, which is following the productized coach model, and just made tons or made micro changes to what was already working. And the biggest thing that I did though is I just tested lots and lots and lots of different, what I call mid-ticket offers, where I'm running ads to a $100 live workshop and seeing if people want to come along for the ride with me. And I want to say out of pretty much everything I did, that was the number one form of ascension in the sense of adding people into our ecosystem and then converting them. And again, that old philosophy that followed me was you need to spend a lot of time working on one offer, where I said, you know what, screw that. Let's launch a ton of things and see what works best. And then what I'm doing this year now is refining focus, doubling down on what worked and repeating those over and over and over again. So that's the first thing. Especially I tell this to all my clients. If you're trying to get in motion, the best thing you can do is launch 2 offers a month. Because if you're just consistently putting out offers until you find the winning one that suddenly gets you so many pre-sold dream clients rolling in and you're getting tons of buyers every single day and all that good stuff, keep testing, keep figuring out, you'll hit it. Okay. So that's the first principle. Second thing is get your back end dialed in. In 2023, I was experienced true roller coaster revenue months because I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew is I didn't want a sales team. I didn't want a big team. And I just wanted to create and help people. That was it. But I didn't have a proper container. I thought high ticket was the way. In essence, what I realized was that if you don't have the back end dialed in, your life will be miserable. Because I remember trying to just constantly get an offer working where every dime that failed, every day that was a negative day in payments, just felt like a huge loss, and it's exhausting. And so, that's sustainable for a little bit, but you should always be focused on getting the back end out in, because the front end, a lot of people are trying to get rich off a $27 product. It ain't going to happen. Maybe in 2019 or 2020, you could have pulled that off. Not today. Now you definitely need some sort of back end out in. And for me, what I figured out worked really good was creating what I call a productized offer. And I discovered this after seeing what was working in our industry and then applying that with productized services to create a productized offer that's price is blatant, easy, very easy to get started, but also very easy for clients to cancel. So we're putting more of the risk on us rather than them. And so that has worked extremely well for me. And that is where pretty much all of our revenue and profit comes from nowadays. It's not from the low ticket stuff anymore. And it's not from selling one-off done for you services that were really inconsistent. It's actually selling the same container over and over and over again, but putting different packages on it. So that is the core thing I highly recommend is get your back end out in. And this is why I tell all of our clients to start with their productized offer before building out the micro offer, the mid-ticket offer, and all those fun things that, yes, they're fun, but if you don't have your back end going, you're screwed. Okay. The final thing I'm going to hit on is you need to build the business on your own terms. Okay. So what do I mean by that? You really need to make sure that you are building what you want to build because you want to build it. And it's very, very simple. I see this all the time where people show up and they follow a model of some guru. And I call this guru trauma. and they're building something they hate. And I saw this, like I had a previous client, and like he is in so much debt. And this is like such a common thing. These people end up in so much debt buying these programs and then trying to, like, he was hiring all these team members and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is working. You don't need to do this. So he's like hiring an email guy, hiring a closer, hiring an appointment setter, buying another sales course. Like, it was just an exhausting thing. And it really didn't get anywhere when the core thing we were doing was just getting buyers. And we should have just kind of doubled down on that and just focused on an ascension strategy for that, rather than going and like spending all this money on all this stuff, and did it in his own way. And I've seen this over and over and over again, where people spend so much money. And I just had a client say the same thing. They spent, they had the most profitable month ever working with us. And she was paying her agency more than she was paying herself. Right. And that's wrong. However, that could be right for you if you're trying to scale an 8 or a 9-figure business, because if you're trying to do that, then you want tons of team, you want tons of infrastructure. Right. And it just depends what you're trying to build. If you're just trying to build a lifestyle business that pays your way to do whatever you want and live the life you want to live, then do that. If you're trying to, build a 9-figure behemoth, then do that. There's nothing wrong with either route. They're both great options. It's just about doubling down on what you want to double down on. So make sure you're doing it in your own way. And for me, what that looked like was spending way more time with my family. I've never been so present and fulfilled being with our daughters. Like, they're just so fucking grateful for that. And there's just nothing else in the world I'd rather be doing than, spending time with our daughters, seeing them grow up, spending time with my wife, being so present with my wife, going on trail hikes, like, having so much fun just even around our house and family. We're going on a trip to London or to England for 3 weeks, but we don't even travel much anymore. We just enjoy the time we spend together. And I'm just so damn grateful to be able to do that. And it's because of this type of business that we built that allows us the freedom and flexibility to be myself and build it in our own way without having to do all these crazy things like manage a sales team or a bunch of nagging Nancy appointment setters. That's the core 3 things I want you to dial in if you want to build it on your own terms and actually scale up to the point where you're making 1% income on your own terms, on your own time frame. All right. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.